Welcome to Creative Caregiving and Beyond. More and more people are having to become caregivers for their elderly loved ones, and navigating this journey can be really difficult. This podcast will provide guidance and give practical tips for your family. Your host is Wendy Whiteman, elder law attorney, author, speaker, and leading insight advisor in senior protocol and senior lifestyle trends. Know that you are not alone in getting the help that you need. Let's get started. And here's Wendy.
Well, welcome to another episode of Creative Caregiving and Beyond. And today we have a special guest, Jo Alch, from the founder of Pajamas for Seniors. And Jo, thank you and so much for coming on the show and welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here.
Well, give us a little information about your background.
Okay. Well, I'm a registered nurse.
Okay.
I grew up in New Orleans.
Okay.
And I had a grandmother who was a Red Cross nurse.
Oh, really?
And on Saturdays, she would take my brother and sister and I, starting from ages 4 all the way to 12, she would take us to nursing homes on Saturday mornings. So I just found a love for seniors when I was a little girl.
Yes.
And so I am a registered nurse now. I love working in geriatrics. I love working with seniors, and just feel like that's where God wants me to be. So it's very fulfilling.
That's wonderful. So you were inspired by your grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yes,
amazing. Yes, yes. And that just stayed with you.
It did.
Well, very good.
It did.
So fast forward, what areas of nursing have you worked in?
Well, I've worked in psych, I've worked in hospice, I've done home care. So I owned a private duty agency. I did hospice for many years and saw a deficit in exceptional care. And so I started a private duty agency about 15 years ago.
Okay.
Sold it last year to a wonderful company. I know we grew and I loved it, but I missed just being that bedside nurse.
Yes.
But my true love is hospice care. I loved working with patients on hospice. I loved working with families. And so many people are so frightened by the word hospice.
That's so
And
true.
it is. And it's just a part of life. It's just a part, you can't prevent death and taxes, you hear. But we all have that end of our journey.
Right.
And so just being able to provide that with dignity and love and compassion and teaching. And, we live in a country where we have medications so that people don't experience pain.
Right.
We have the tools, and we're so fortunate here in America.
Yes.
And so just providing hospice care for me, that's just my love. I love that. I love helping others.
Well, you have a wide spectrum of experience in nursing, and I bet you've seen a lot about from families on where to place their loved one. I mean, I bet you've gotten that question a lot.
I get that a lot, and I do consult with a company called Senior Living Specialist, and they're a great group. And what people don't realize is in Dallas-Fort Worth, there are 900 choices. Nursing homes, memory, assisted livings, residential care homes, independent living. So people are confused on what is providing what. And you could look at a beautiful building and that salesperson is fabulous at what they're selling, but you got to kind of go behind the scenes too. You've got to see what's going on.
Yes.
And there are questions families need to know to ask. And so that's what I can help with is just what are the right questions? Yeah. I'll give an example. I was doing visits a couple of weeks ago when we had the ice storm. This little hospice that I help wanted all of their patients seen before the ice, and people had to stay off the roads. I went to this community at 6:15 in the evening. They did not want to let me in. They did not want to let me in. And I said, I'm here, it's supposed to snow, just want to check on these patients. And basically the reason was they had no staff. They had one person taking care of probably 70 people.
Oh my goodness.
And
was that because of the ice? They couldn't get in?
I think it was because of the ice. I think it's because of COVID. I think it's because of staffing issues.
Yes.
There are just so many obstacles going on in these communities that are a lot of out of their control. But you want to make sure when you do look for a loved one for your place for your loved one, that you do that homework. You ask, what is the staff ratio? You ask, how long is it, if I need a nurse, how long will it take to get that nurse, to my mother's bedside?
Yes.
I always
That's
ask
a very
about,
good question.
yes, and
Yeah.
I always ask about the nurses on staff.
Okay.
Do you have nurses on staff? A lot of people have med techs, and the med techs do medication, but you want to find out, is there an RN that is there an LVN? Is there somebody that can call the doctor? So there's just a lot of questions family members need to know, because they'll wind up moving somebody to an independent living. 6 months later, their loved one needs a little assistance. They move to an assisted living. Well, then the assisted living isn't really assisting, and then they have to get private duty care in.
Yes.
And now you're talking thousands of dollars per month.
Right.
When your loved one all along might have really needed skilled nursing.
Yeah.
So it's just doing your homework, and having an advocate is so important.
Well, that's wonderful, what you guys are doing at Senior Living Specialists, because there's so much information to weed through to know what is the appropriate help that's needed. And you're right there in the field. You see exactly what's going on. What would be the appropriate number of RNs that should be at a facility? I mean, is there something that the state regulates that says there has to be at least one, or at all times on staff?
Yeah, and that's a good question. It depends on the level of care. So a skilled community is going to have a stricter following, a stricter rule.
Okay.
Assisted livings, you don't have to have a nurse around the clock. I think it's imperative. And the reason I do, all the years that I've done hospice, when you're sick, say you have the flu, you feel your worst at night. Your fever spikes at night. If you have a stomach virus, you throw up more at night, or you're sicker at night. So your body is at its weakest. So if your body's at its weakest, then shouldn't a nurse be there at night?
Right.
And so
That's a very good point. Yeah.
Yeah. And so and how quickly can we see that nurse, and get these needs addressed?
Yes. Very good. Very good. Well, that's a great tip right there. It's got me thinking for sure. Let's talk about Pajamas for Seniors. So how did that come about?
That is a great question. And when I went to this particular nursing home with my grandmother, starting at age 6, one of the homes we went to was called the Home for the Incurables. The patients had no family. They were wards of the state. The building had no air conditioning. This was in the 60s.
Yeah.
The nurses wore white. The sheets were white. The walls were white. The patients wore white. White hospital
I remember
gowns.
when nurses wore white.
Yeah.
White hose, the white shoes, the white, yeah.
And there was no color.
No color.
So the bedside tables had no stuffed animal, no pictures of family, no flowers. And I just remember my grandmother saying, take a mental picture of this. These people have nothing. They have no one. Hold their hand. Put a drink to their mouth and let them sip. Touch. Give them touch. Sing to them. Tell them you love them. It made such a lasting impression on me. So I became a nurse, worked at Parkland in the general medical floor. It was just not my thing. It was the hardest job. And my instructors in nursing school and at Parkland said, you would be a really good hospice nurse. So I had a really hard day at Parkland one day. I remember I had a patient that was 800 pounds.
Wow.
And this was my patient. It was really, really hard for me. Just because at the time I was little and it was hard to try to take care of her the best I could do. And I went home. I was so exhausted. I was so sore. And I just pulled out the phone book. This is back in the 90s when there were still phone books.
Yes.
And I opened the book to hospice, and I saw the name of a company, Family Hospice, opened the phone book, called them, and they said, yes, we're actually hiring nurses right now. So I had very little experience. I had no experience in hospice, so I took a chance. This company hired me. I must have made a good impression. And so I started, gave my notice at Parkland, started 2 weeks later. And because I had little experience, they assigned me to nursing homes. So I knew knew that there would be a director there, and there would be a social worker there, and there'd be staff there if I had questions or whatever. So what I found in these nursing homes in Dallas, Texas, I would call families. I would not get a phone call. There were no stuffed animals at the bedside. There were no flowers. There were no pictures. The walls were bare. Instead of white, the sheets may have been a different color, but the hospital gowns were white. And what I saw was a modern day home for the incurables, that here we were in Dallas, Texas, one of the most, wonderful states in the country. Of course, our business is booming. It's just a great state. But here were our seniors, just like I saw 50 years ago.
Wow.
So I just started bringing my patients pajamas. It made me sad. And I just thought, if somebody is sleeping, they're on hospice, at least let them sleep with some dignity.
Yes.
And not have their behind sticking out with diapers or their arms. And I'm really self-conscious. I'm 60. I just turned 60. I don't like my arms to show. So think about these women in these hospital gowns, and their arms are wrinkled, and they're just part of aging. But we need to give these people dignity again.
That is so true. That is so true.
So, so I started Pajamas for Seniors 4 years ago.
Okay.
I'd been giving pajamas to my patients for years, but I decided to make it official. The reason was there was a sleepwear company going out of business, and they had $25,000 worth of pajamas that they would give us, but I had to be a nonprofit so that I could give them a receipt.
Okay.
So we did the work. I had a team of friends and workers at my business that helped me. We became a 501c3 and just have been going strong ever since. So we provide pajamas to people that need them the most. And so we have distributed 33,000 pairs of pajamas in the last 4 years.
33,000? Wow.
33,000. And we are growing. We do things year-round. It's not just at Christmas people need pajamas.
That's true.
It's year-round. And so we give Mother's Day, Father's Day. We give June 13th. We do MLK Day. We do Christmas in July. So there's always a reason to celebrate. And it's just amazing, the reactions from these people.
Oh my gosh, I bet you've seen so many smiles.
Oh, we see so many smiles.
And tears of happiness as well.
Tears. And, and I want to share the most meaningful. And, I love the Lord. I have a very strong faith. I'm very open about it.
Yes.
But we had a patient we brought pajamas to. She had no legs. She was in a wheelchair, maybe one tooth. And we brought pajamas to this nursing home. It was kind of a birthday thing where everybody at the nursing home got pajamas. She was dressed just so raggedy. And so I handed her the pajamas, and she hugged them and set them in her lap. And then she held her hands up and started singing Amazing Grace.
Oh my goodness.
And her voice was the voice of an angel. I've never heard a more beautiful voice. So she was a singer. She was a singer years ago. And
that act brought the song at her heart out.
It did, but it witnessed and it ministered to me.
Yes.
And so the whole thing with pajamas is just the beginning. We've got to start paying attention to our nursing homes and those people in our nursing homes. You know where your nearest Starbucks is. You know where your favorite restaurant is. But do you know the name of the nursing home in your zip code?
Wow.
And most people say no.
That's so true.
And so we need to know our nursing homes. We need to know what are the needs. You know, we know kids at the beginning of the school year need backpacks or they need school supplies. What about our seniors? When is the last time they got a new toothbrush?
That's so true.
When is the last time they've had body wash or a bar of soap?
Yeah.
And so, you know, socks, like the number one requested item in nursing homes is socks. And
I could see that because, you know, even in your own home, where did the socks go? I mean, they go from the washer and somehow when they come out of the dryer, they're like not there anymore.
I know.
Yeah.
So think about the housekeeping services that is doing socks for 80 people.
Right, that's
They're
so true.
going to lose those socks.
Yes.
And so just the little thing, a pair of pajamas, a pair of socks can make such a difference. Just comfort. It's just a simple necessity
Yes.
that can mean so much.
Yeah. A simple necessity, but a extraordinary act of kindness. And, you know, we all need that. We all need that.
We do.
Especially today.
We
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
We've had patients say, I had one that we gave pajamas to. Her name was Lucille. She's my my model, my photo model. I just love her. I have a picture of her on our website, and she's smiling with these pajamas. She's 95. She's got these little bangs, and she told me when she got the pajamas, she said, I have not received a present in 5 years.
Oh my goodness.
5 years. Because you have to remember, people are living longer.
That's
so a
true.
lot of these patients in nursing homes, they have outlived their adult children.
Yeah.
People are having fewer children.
That's true.
And so they've got nobody.
Yeah. And that is so true. I get calls like that occasionally from facilities in my law practice that they have no one. And we've had to try to find the next of kin, and sometimes that would lead to another country to find the next person that that was related to them. And I mean, but it's kind of sad, you know. But we are seeing that more and more. Well, do you partner with other agencies or organizations
We do.
to get those pajamas in?
We do, and we have an awesome support here in DFW.
Okay.
We just got a call from Omaha, Nebraska. They want to start an affiliate chapter. So we want pajamas for seniors all over the map.
Great.
But we do have a fantastic board. We work with Senior Source. We work with VNA. We work with so many businesses here in DFW, nursing homes. We work with, you know, elder law attorneys like
Yes,
you. We
yes.
work with just everybody, doctors, you know. But everybody that hears about us wants to help. So the end of this month, we're doing what's called a sock hop. We've got 3 locations in Dallas, probably 25 or 30 sponsors.
Okay.
And all we're doing is collecting socks. And we're calling it a bunny sock hop. And then we're doing bunny baskets or bunny boxes
Okay.
For 500 homebound hospice patients for Easter this year.
Oh my goodness.
And we're so excited about those. So instead of Easter baskets, we're doing bunny boxes. And we have elementary school age kids decorating these boxes. We're filling them with toiletries, pajamas, socks, snacks, and just to make their day brighter, put
Yes.
some color in their room.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
just make them feel loved. You know, we are all God's children.
We
and
are.
We
We
just,
are.
everyone has a purpose.
Yes.
I think about what I told you, the woman who sang Amazing Grace. She ministered to me. And so God has a reason. He knows every day of our life. He knows every hair on our head, the number of hairs on our head.
Yes.
He knows why they are still here and with us. And we can learn from seniors.
Oh, we can. We can. You know, I say that all the time that it's just untapped knowledge and wisdom with our seniors. And if we could just take advantage of that, and definitely through your organization, you're doing that. And you're bringing so many people together, different age groups and demographics to help our seniors. It's just wonderful.
Well, and we have a high school group. They're called Pajamas for Seniors at Highland Park High School. It's a group of 30 girls. They're all juniors, and they are real involved. And it's so exciting. It used to be 50, 60 years ago, your loved one lived with you. My grandmother, I took care of my grandmother before she passed. She lived with us for 11 months. And it's challenging when you're working and you've got kids. And, so many times people think, okay, where am I going to move mom or grandmom or dad? But I wanted to be able to take care of my grandmother. And so I did that. I did the best I could. But that is something that's kind of, it's really unheard of now.
Yeah.
Very few people take care of their loved ones in the home.
Yeah.
And so children and teens don't know what to do.
Right.
And so we have to educate younger children. We've got to educate our teens and college kids. We've lost that generation in caring for our seniors, so we need to get back. Another group we work with is the Girl Scouts. So there is a Girl Scouts patch, a Pajamas for Seniors patch. And so the North Texas Girl Scouts do a lot for Pajamas for Seniors too.
Oh,
I didn't
very
mention
good. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Well, you've partnered with some great organizations. That's wonderful. Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
So if someone wants to donate the socks or they say, I've got some pajamas, I'm going to grab some pajamas and
love it.
get them to you right away. What do they do?
You can go to our website.
Okay.
And you can go to pajamasforseniors.org. You can donate money and we will do the shopping. One thing we need so desperately right now are men's and women's small, medium, large. We have an abundance of larger sizes. This year we focused on larger sizes.
Yes.
People don't realize that in a nursing home, people are not just small, medium, large. They are all the way up to 7X.
Oh, okay.
And 7X is hard to find.
I bet
so
they
that
are.
money helps to buy those larger sizes.
Okay.
Well, we in 2021 made a huge effort to get the super sizes. So now we're low on the small, medium,
Small,
large.
medium, and large.
So anyway, and so we do need men's and women's small, medium, large. So if people want to order those, our address that you can mail directly, you can order on Amazon, you can order at Walmart, Target. There are pajamas right now on clearance through JCPenney, Walmart.
Yes.
Order them. We don't care if they're on sale.
Yeah.
We love them on sale because you can get more and we can distribute more.
That's right. That's right. So do they have to be pajamas or gowns, or what do you prefer?
Pajamas or gowns.
Okay.
We prefer the button front or
Okay.
the snap front.
Okay.
And really, people, we have to make room for the adult Depends and
Yes.
diapers that they're
Yes.
wearing. So we kind of err on the larger size, but we
Okay.
do have small, petite people.
Right.
That need pajamas too. So there was a little hospice patient, a volunteer coordinator called me, and this patient was an extra large, and now he is a small, super small. I've lost a ton of weight. I think he's a cancer patient.
Okay.
And he saw him yesterday, and his pajamas were just pinned with safety pins. And so on my way here, I stopped at our storage. I got a couple of medium pajamas for him. So we're always, if there's a need, please let us know. There is such a need.
Such a need. Yeah. Yeah. There's such a need. We were talking before the show about how many we thought residents just dementia, but how many nursing facilities? I think you said
There are
in the area, the Metroplex.
in the Dallas area, in Dallas County, there are 16,000 nursing home and assisted living residents. Of those, 70% have no family, no relatives, no visitors, 70%. So add that COVID in the mix.
Yes.
Think about, you've got dementia, you've got no family, you see everybody with a mask on. The first thought is probably, what's wrong with me? Where am I? What is going on?
Right.
And the masks have just been, they've been a necessity, but they have been so detrimental
Yeah.
to our seniors.
Right.
The isolation has been just horrible,
Yeah.
and so right now, they're lifting mandates, which is so exciting. My daughter lives in Manhattan. They've just lifted that mandate there.
Oh, great.
And so now we can get back in
Yeah.
and let it serve again. If you're on your way to church bringing donuts, stop and get a few dozen donuts and drop them off to the staff at your nearest nursing home.
That's so true.
They want to feel appreciated.
You're right.
You know,
You're right. You're absolutely right.
There's always something we can do.
You're
There's
absolutely
always.
right. There's a lot we can do, and I thank you for bringing that awareness, to our audience and letting them know that we have to reach out, and especially with the younger generation, because they don't know what that looks like. My mom lives with me, and we have round the clock caregivers. And I was just thinking the other day, I was like, my son is getting to see this, that we're, taking care of my mom. And it is a challenge. And I totally understand everybody is not in a position to do it.
Right.
It just depends on what, you're able to do. But it is an honor to be able to do it and to show him that our elderly population, they're valued. They're not just cast away and it's because it's inconvenient. And thank you so much for what you're doing, and you're showing that to another generation.
Well, and you too. I mean, just having a resource like you, families don't know what to do, and they don't know where to turn, and they don't understand. They don't understand what things mean, and it's so sad. People go to the hospital and they're discharged, and then you get a piece of paper. Well, wait,
what do I do next?
Yeah. What do I do?
Exactly.
So it's people like you, it's the passion about what we do. And
Yes.
that's what we need in senior care as well, is just to be accountable. These people are not a number. It's not a census. It's a human being.
Yes, it
and,
is.
We need to get that back.
We do. And I just love your philosophy and your mission, and your grandmother inspiring you to do that. And that's just, it's just wonderful. It's really inspiring me. And the Amazing Grace song is just, I'll never forget that either. I could imagine that, just sing that entire scene when she got those pajamas.
Oh, it was so powerful.
Wow.
And so we can learn from these seniors if we just ask.
Yeah.
Tell me about your life. They will talk and talk and talk.
They will. That is so true. That is so true. Well, Jo, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Welcome. Thank you.
This has been a wealth of information, and we definitely want to go to Pajamas for Seniors.
Pajamasforseniors.org. We would love your support. We need volunteers. We have so much going on, and let's just give back to our seniors because they've given us so much.
They have.
So it's our turn to give back.
Yeah, I totally agree. So definitely go to the website at pajamasforseniors.org and definitely get your donation in. We need those small, medium, and larges for sure to come in and reach out to a senior. Find out, I love what you said, find out the nearest nursing home in your neighborhood. I'm sure you're bound to be passing one within 5 miles of your area. So find out, reach out, take them some donuts, tell them you appreciate them and they're serving our senior population, and reach out to a senior just by brighten their day.